Hi, I'm Laura, and welcome back to the Tarot Genie for this week's lesson on cards of the tarot. Major Arcana, number 4, the Emperor. The Emperor is the complete contrast to the Empress who we studied last week. While she is the feminine archetype, the Emperor is the masculine archetype. He's very strong. He exudes stamina, structure, protection. Look at the armor that he's wearing. Definite association with protection, that he's armored and he's authoritative. He is literally sitting on a throne of stone, suggesting that his beliefs, his ideologies are set in stone. He's not someone who's going to waver. He's not going to be wishy-washy. So if he were to pop up in a reading, if you were asking about an individual and seeking guidance, this would suggest that the person that you are dealing with is pretty much set in their ways, has very strong beliefs, is structured, is systematic, has a high vantage point as presented by the mountains, those jagged mountains in the background. And those jagged mountains and kind of that dry landscape also suggests that he may have a sternness to him. And notice how everything is just very well structured there. It's a 4. Now, the Emperor is number 4. 4s numerologically are associated with structure and systems. And we also see the 4 ram's heads on his throne, and rams are associated with power. And they symbolize leadership and authority. You know, think of the idea of butting heads. You can often think of ram's heads butting against each other. His sovereignty is also denoted by his crown of jewels. It looks like we have rubies and diamonds in his crown. His scepter is another sign of a symbol of sovereignty or power, and the orb represents his dominion. He's holding that in his left hand, what he has dominion over. There is a small river back of him, and it's flowing straight. Whereas the Empress, who we studied last week, is kind of a free-flowing feminine energy. We remember the waterfall coming down, so that's a sense of flow. The Emperor, in contrast, is not as flowing as much. This is moving slowly, that little river in the back, and we sense that he's just not a free-flowing type of person. He's very established, very firm, resolute, unwavering in his opinions. And a good book that I recommend, and I've forgotten the author, I apologize for this, but I'll have it in the show notes, that I thought of when I was thinking, well, what book would I recommend for talking about the Emperor? And since the Emperor is associated with structures and systems and kind of being well organized, definitely, it just seems like everything is in its place here. The book from years ago, maybe it came out in the 80s, 90s, I don't recall, but it's called Getting Things Done. And that book, if my memory is accurate, it's all about how to get things done by basically setting up easy to follow systems and routines and establishing order. Because without order, it's really difficult to get things done. You know, if you put systems in place, even though to maybe a free-spirited person, systems look like they're just, a constraint. Actually, systems can free you up, because when you have a system in place, then things just flow more easily. Things get done. So check that book out. The song for this week associated with the Emperor is I've Got the Power, and I'll have a link to that, because the Emperor is definitely about power. Now let me just see if there are any other symbols here that we need to discuss, or any other thoughts I had. But definitely he's a take charge person. Oh, and then if you got the Emperor in reverse, if this reversed Emperor showed up in a reading and you were talking about an individual getting insight, This would suggest that it could be someone who's corrupt, who is maybe, or alternatively, the person could be tyrannical, or the person could be the opposite of strength, could not be effective, could be ineffective in a particular position, unpowerful, not well suited to a leadership position. So that's how I would interpret the Emperor reversed. See if there's anything else I came up with this week. Also he represents that yang, very masculine energy, epitome of masculinity. We see a lot of cubic shapes in this image. But overall, it seems pretty clear to me. If you pick up the Emperor, it shows up in a reading. We've got definitely the sense of strong, authoritative energy, a leadership energy, something that is someone who's very well controlled, very systematic, authoritative, and who is a protector, who's willing to protect, as represented by his armor. I hope this reading has been helpful for you. If you've not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, remember, illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot.